All right, everybody. Here we are with round 7 of the SimRacingMania GT3 Championship, where Colin, Andrew, and Jack will be taking on Magny-Cours in France today. A track that none of us have driven really, so it's going to be a new one for everybody. But before we get into all the shenanigans of the race, a couple things to go over. First of all, I'd like to thank our sponsor, the FM40s podcast. They broadcast live every Wednesday from the Blind Beggar at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time or Mountain Daylight Time, whatever one it is now. The time change just happened like 2 days ago, so there's that. Special shout out to the Ring King Custom Chainmail. I do actually have the little thing that I can show you guys this time. I remembered to bring it in. I hope it kind of shows up on the screen there. Basically, it's a chainmail inlay of the TracksVR logo. I think I did the calculations, there's about 4,000 rings in this bad boy, and it weighs like pound, maybe 2 pounds, maybe at most. Another thing I brought in was a little dice bag. Nothing major, but just a little dice bag made out of square wire and round wire rings. So, a couple things that I can do over there. Definitely go check me out on Facebook at the Ring King Custom Chainmail on Facebook. Yeah, because I don't have a website yet, so go check that out. Next shout out, because I haven't been shouting him out, is Ethan Burke for our little intermission video that we play right before the race after qualifying in the warm-up. He made our awesome commercial, so shout out to him. It's Ethan Burke, I do believe, on social media. Yeah, it's Ethan Burke on social media. Go check him out. Very, very good photo editor or videographer. He edits videos and makes videos. They are awesome. Okay, go check him out. I think that's it for special shout outs today. So I'm just going to go over a little bit of what happened after round 6 for points-wise. After round 6, Andrew had a phenomenal drive. So did Colin. I mean, all three of them had wicked drives. A couple of the standings things haven't been updated yet, and they still haven't gone through the incident reports and stuff like that. So these are not fully set in stone what I have in front of me. But it looks like we have Jack Evans in first place, Andrew Parkinson, our boy, in second place by 28 points. Sorry, my math. And Tomas Golab in third. So the top 3 drivers are within 40 points. So it could last 2 rounds are going to be very, very important. Then we have Colin Sanders in 5th place at 192 points, but he is, after one incident that happened last round, one of the drivers got disqualified, so he actually is going to get bumped up a place, so he's going to gain some more points. I'm just not sure how many points he's going to get and where it's going to put him. And then we have Jackaboy down in 20th, but they still have not fixed his disqualification that the game apparently gave him for whatever reason. So it should bump him up. I think it's going to bump him up at least 2 more places, I think. 1 for sure, maybe 2. I can't remember. But we'll say he's sitting 20th for the time being. And then the team standings, lots happened in the team standings. So Team Future, which is Anti-Rasty, Michael Brooks, and Tomas Golab, are sitting at 453 points. None of them drove, or Anti-Rasty drove last race, but ended up DNFing due to connection issues and stuff. And Tomas Golab and Michael Brooks have been super, super busy in their personal lives, so shout out to them for still putting this on, which is great. We understand they're super busy. We've kind of been chatting with them in the Discord just to make sure everything's all right and they're not dead. So, but they are at 453 points. They didn't get any points for last round, which is awesome for us. TracksVR got 95 points last round, so we're now only 40 points behind Team Future, which is very good for us, as we have 2 rounds left. We have today and then next Tuesday, so we have 2 races, and they're both going to be very important for points. And then third place is after our massive points gain from the last 2 races over our team RHI, we are now 103 points ahead of 3rd place. So really, it's starting to really get tight in the drivers and the team standings. So we're hoping and praying that the boys could do outstanding things today. That would be fantastic. So it looks like we got another minute before qualifying here. This track, Magny-Cours, I'm just going to Google it. I did a little bit of Googling before, but I can't remember. Is in France. I can see you back there. It is in France. It is a 4.4 kilometer track or 2.7 miles, and there's 17 turns. Used to be raced in F1, and then they went to Paul Ricard. And the fastest lap for F1 is still held by Michael Schumacher from 2004, a 1:15.3. So that's the track record in Formula 1. I don't care about your crap. Is there any chance of rain today? I don't think there's chance of rain today, which is good. My live timing is saying there's no chance of rain today. It is Circuit de Nevers. I don't speak French, so if I butcher any of these, I apologize. Magny-Cours is a motor racing circuit in central France, so it's near towns of Magny-Cours, obviously, and Nevers, obviously. It's 250 kilometers from Paris and about 240 kilometers from Lyon. So the 2 big cities, Lyon and Paris, Paris being the biggest one. It used to be the Formula 1 French Grand Prix from 99 or 91 to 2008. So it held the French Grand Prix for 17 years, and then they went to Paul Ricard. I think it was a good choice because the cars are a lot quicker. But that's just me. Yeah, there are 17 corners on this track. One really tight hairpin, a couple 180 turns, and then another hairpin that's not super, super tight. Let me see if I can find a picture for you. Oh, I got kicked from the thing. Let's go back in. Spectate. So qualifying is going to be starting as I get put back in the race here. Oh, I forgot to go over success ballast. That's a very, very important thing. Jack Evans has maximum success ballast of 63 kilograms because he's gotten first in the last 2 races and he's sitting first in the point standing. So he gets 21 kilograms for each of those subsectors. Colin Sanders has 21 kilograms. He would have had 14, but because of the disqualification from the last round of the driver that finished ahead of him, he actually gets an extra 7 kilograms because he finished farther up on the standings. Let's see if we can find. I don't think any of our guys are out on track yet. We'll just go on board with Jack Evans here for a second just to see what's going on. Colin has 21 kilograms of ballast. Andrew Parkinson has 28 kilograms of ballast. Tomas Golap has 7 kilograms of ballast because he didn't show up last week. Javier Conti has 7 kilograms of ballast, and Vlad Tokarev has maximum ballast of 63 kilograms because, this is the reasoning, for using a different car than he signed up with in the, not last round, but the round before. They're not allowed to change cars. And he's also been disqualified from the previous round due to the car rule violation. Excuse me. So, that's why Colin is going to be moved up a spot because of that that violation. So, and everybody in the Discord, there's been a lot of people in the Discord that are have been super honest and stuff about them supposedly supposed to be having more ballast than what is actually there. So, here's Jackaboy. We'll follow him around for qualifying here. People must have got kicked, so we're getting a little bit of lag, but that's okay. So Magny-Cours. They actually have a corner named Imola. That's kind of funny. So 17 corners. It looks like a very flat track from what I could see. Even the guys were saying it's very flat, not too many hills, not too much banking, so we will see what happens. Jack is just on his outlap. So that's the last chicane, and then there's the start-finish line. So Jack is on his first flying lap, which comes up super quick. Now, I know all the boys have been super busy with work, and I know Colin's been super busy with work. Andrew's been super busy with school and work. Jack's been super busy with work. So all of our drivers haven't had a lot of practice on this track, but I'm still very confident that they'll pick it up quickly. I mean, they have qualifying, they have a little bit of warm-up, and then they have an hour and 50 minutes of race. So they have lots of time to basically get practice in, or whatever you want to call it. There's Jackaboy on my thingy here. Where is he? Very tight. A couple of the hairpins are very tight, so I'm gonna, when you guys hear me say hairpin, I mean like a super tight corner. When I say 180, it's like a long corner that starts facing north and ends facing south, basically. Very good lap by Jack, a 138.2. I think pole is going to be a 130, a very high 134, so it's going to be like a 34.9 or something, I think. Looks like pole currently is a 1 minute 35.3. So, and I know Colin and Andrew are right around that speed. Oops. Are right around that speed in see, that's a hairpin. Very slow first gear corner. Just let the car rotate. Oh, that's not who I wanted to go on board with. Colin is out doing a lap. I think he's yeah, he's just doing his out lap. It's a nice little shot. Oh, Andrew's out doing his out lap now, so all three drivers out there on track putting in qualifying. Remember, they have 15 minutes to complete 6 laps. One of those laps is an out lap, which isn't going to count. One of those laps is a in lap, which isn't going to count. So technically, they have 4 laps to set the fastest lap time they can. On top of that, at the end of qualifying, whatever fuel they have left, so if they have 50 liters of fuel left at the end of qualifying, they start the race with 50 liters of fuel. As Colin comes across the line here, let's see where his time puts him. Oh no, never mind. That was his out lap. Ignore me for a second. I'm having one of those days, guys. I'm having a day. Jack's time is still holding up. He's top 12. We have 23 drivers today, so and the pole time is still a 1 minute 35.3, so. But it looked like, from practice, it looks like a lot of the drivers are very close in lap times. So it should be an interesting race. I didn't have time to do any laps here, so I couldn't even tell you what the corners are like. I just go off of what I'm seeing on track. And as I was saying, other series with qualifying fuel mixtures and stuff like that, other series will let you refuel however much you want and put as much fuel as you want to into the car after qualifying. This series doesn't. This uses the Parc Fermé rules, which state that you cannot make any adjustments to the car after you've completed 1 lap of qualifying. So far we got, looks like we got Jack up in 16th here. Colin crosses the line. Where is that going to put Colin? Colin is provisionally 9th with a 136.2. I know he can go faster than that. I know he did. He was about half second faster than that in practice, so I know he can go faster. Let's hop on board with Andrew here and see how he's doing. Andrew is on his flying lap, so let's see what he can do with this. Remember, like I said, most of our, like all 3 drivers haven't had much practice due to busy lives, so this qualifying is just more practice for them. Which I mean is a way to use qualifying. When I do my league racing and stuff, it's always qualifying is just extra practice, so. Obviously you're trying to put in a super fast lap while you're practicing, but you're still practicing, remembering the track and all that stuff. Every lap is practice. Every lap behind the wheel of the car is practice. Unless you're constantly spinning out, then it's not, you're not practicing properly. Here comes Andrew across the line. Let's see where that sticks him. That's going to put Andrew up into P8 provisionally, and we have Colin in P10 provisionally. Let's see, Jack's out doing some more laps. I think this is going to be Jack's last lap. He might actually pit this lap, but I'm not sure. He might be doing, this might be his in lap. Yep, definitely an in lap. So it looks like Jack has done his qualifying. So provisionally sitting 17th with a 1 minute 37.5. So he did better his 38, which is good. Let's go on board. Where is Andrew? Let's go on board with Andrew here. Andrew is now provisionally 10th. People are starting to pick up the speed a little bit. Where's Colin? Oh, Colin just did his second flying lap, and he did a 35.7. See, told you. 35.7 is where he's going to be sitting, so that provisionally puts him into 5th place. Just going to wait and see what Andrew does here. No camera. It's ASMR for them. Yeah, exactly. Sorry guys, I haven't eaten yet, so I'm kind of munching away before qualifying's over, and then when we go into warm up, I'll eat off of mic. Just think of me as Markiplier and Lord Minion. They eat all the time while they're streaming, so. With that last lap, that last flying lap, looks like it puts Andrew up in the provisional P6, 5/100ths behind Colin. So Colin with a 1 minute 35.738, and Andrew with a 1 minute 35.788. Now, I don't know if Andrew is going to be trying to do another flying lap or if he's going to come in this lap. I'm not sure. He does have another lap, yep. Because he's done 2 flying laps, so he's got 1 more, and then he can come in or whatever he wants to do. Looks like he's hauling, so I'm going to say this is another other lap. Onto the Bridgestone Bridge. The Bridgestone Bridge. That's going to be fun to say during a stream. Oh, I don't know if Andrew might be coming in, or he's gonna wait and see what happens with the rest of the grid. Nope, Andrew is coming into the pits. So that's gonna do it for Andrew. He's still, yeah, he's sitting 7th, and Colin is sitting 6th. So
Today was the first day Andrew's ever driven this track. That's what I told him. I was like, I'm not too worried about you.
he'll be fine. Andrew will be fine. And Vlad Tokarev all the way back at the pack. Another one that's probably never driven the track before.
Did he qualify in the Porsche?
It looks like it. He got disqualified last round, so I think he's like, oh yeah, it's fine this round. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Jack Evans is coming in for a doing his in lap. I think everybody's gonna be doing in laps now. There's not gonna be any people going out and doing some laps. Qualifying's basically over, and everybody's got 1 lap left, maybe 2 laps. So they got to do their in lap. They don't want to get disqualified or whatever, stuck at the back of the grid for doing 1 extra lap. Yep, this is definitely an in lap. Jack Evans. Who else is out there? Jesper's out there. Oh, Jesper just come in. Andre Rosu's out there in the McLaren. And then Vlad Tokarev's still out there in the Porsche, so. I don't like.
He asked him, so I don't know. Maybe it's just terrible at this track or something.
I don't know.
But Brooks is saying that he's having his own setup issues around here.
It's gonna be a difficult track when you haven't driven it before. Like. Well, I mean, none of you guys have had any practice, so I wouldn't complain. And with that last lap for Jack Evans, he takes pole away from Valentin Iliev by 0.05 of a second. Holy crap, the ambient temperature is 2 degrees. The air temp is cold. But track temp is still 30 degrees, so that's okay. Alrighty, so for the race, we have Jack Evans first, Valentin Iliev second, Bertil Wallin third. Haven't seen him up there for a while. Jesper Burns fourth, Jean-Michel Lorieux in fifth, Colin Sanders sixth, Andrew Parkinson seventh, Fabio Carax eighth, Philippe Gustafsson ninth, Javier Conti 10th, Pedro Gomez, we haven't seen for a while. Pedro is 11th, Jonas Lagesson is 12th, Andre Rosu is 13th, Matteo Dentella is 14th, Michael Brooks 15th, Dennis Van de Ven 16th, Dastan Farrokhzad is 17th, Jack Trewick is 18th, Johan Carlson is 19th, Mirko Losito is 20th, Valerio Margarito is 21st, and Antonello Mastro is 22nd. And somebody got disconnected from the back of the pack. I don't know who that was, so we'll see who that was in a second here. But I am going to, if I can remember where it is, I'm going to go eat my last taco here before the race so I can get some sustenance and not sound like a blubbering idiot when I'm talking during the stream. And we'll be right back.
Have you been locked up all year? Tired of the same old routine? We've got you covered at TracksVR. We have 12 full-motion simulators incorporating VR technology to put you in the driver's seat of a race car. With our team of sim experts, we can help guide you whether you're a beginner or a seasoned veteran. From Ferrari to AlphaTauri and all the teams in between, we've got the largest selection of F1 racing merchandise in Western Canada. We clean all the equipment before and after each use and disinfect all high touch points. Forget about the Zoom presentation on Monday. Forget about the holes in the wall for your kids' virtual soccer practice. Bring your future champions down here. We're open for retail viewing and product testing. We want to bring our passion for racing to you here at TracksVR.
All right, guys, warm-up is done. They might go into a second warm-up here. I'm not sure. The stewards have been setting the grids, all that good stuff, so... Alrighty, I hope you guys like that music. I'm going to link it in the description after the stream, but it is on YouTube. Metal Guitar Stuff is the YouTube channel, so if you're looking for some decent ads, we get screamed at by people apparently going out of the grid. What was I saying? If you're looking for some just instrumental heavy rock music, check out Metal Guitar Stuff. I've listened to a couple of his playlists and they're actually really, really good. I listen to them while I game at home, so I definitely recommend going to check him out. I will, like I said, I'll link his YouTube channel in the description after the video so you guys can go check it out. I'll put it in the chat right now though for you guys in case you want to go look at it and listen to it while the race is on. I don't blame you for wanting to have a little bit of music going on in your ears while you're watching some racing. All right, here we are on the track. We're gonna ride on board with Colin here. I don't think we've ridden on board with him at the start of a race for a while now, so we'll ride on board with him. Just see what happens. So we have, like I said, Colin's in 6th, Andrew's in 7th, and Jacoboy's in 18th. So here we go. Formation lap, a go-go. So formation lap is single file start, or single file formation. I do believe it's 120k around the track until you get until we get around to the last couple corners or sector 3 or something. I'm not 100% clear on that rule, but then they have to put their pit limiter on, which on this track I think is 80 kilometers an hour. I think 70 or 80 kilometers an hour, and they drive with their pit limiter on all the way around, coming out of the last chicane. And then once they cross the start-finish line, that is when they are allowed to take their pit limiter off. So it's going to create an accordion effect. I mean, that's just the way single-file starts are, but if they can keep bunched, like if they can keep tight together, like tight enough together, they should be okay, and it shouldn't create, like, the back people shouldn't create too much of a distance from the front people. But what it's actually going to help is spread everybody out a little bit more to create less havoc going into turn 1. So and turn 1, if I bring up my map here, turn 1 is a left-hander, a sweeping left-hander. And then you got a little bit of a kink. They call it turn 2. I would call it turn 2, but it's a kink. And then you got turn 3, which is a long 180. So turn 1, I think, is going to be where a lot of dive bombs are going to happen right off the bat. And then turn 5, probably going to have some dive bombs. I'm just foreseeing it already. Turn 14, I'm expecting some dive bombs. Maybe not the last chicane, but... How's it going, Howard? You've joined us.
Hello. How are we today? Sorry, I was having a business meeting with our sponsor, F&40's podcast. Leanne and I were just sitting down, so hopefully you mentioned her at the start of the stream. Excellent, excellent. And our other sponsor, Ring King. Did we show a picture of that really cool chainmail as we were talking about last week? Here we go. Green light, green light. Here we go.
Yeah, exactly what I thought was going to happen. It's going to spread the field out a lot coming that first chicane. Because the start-finish line is like 20 feet after the chicane. So you're basically speeding up as you're coming out of chicane, and you just go, right? So if you get stuck in the middle of chicane while everybody else is out of it, you're kind of going to lose a little bit of time. But Colin doing a good job of hanging in there. He's not losing too much speed, too much time to the. Oh, they're side by side, going to the kink. I gotta turn my headset down. Who do we got in front of Colin? We got Jean-Michel Lorieux actually, in that BMW. So let's see how Colin can do. And then Jesper Burns in that Vodafone McLaren in front of him, and you got you got Andrew right behind Colin. So far so good. Let's see where Jackaboy is here. Jack is side by side with Michael Brooks. Looks like that Corvette has just got a little more speed coming into that chicane there. Michael Brooks was expressing that he's having a hard time setting up his car for this track, so even though our boys aren't super confident in the tune and setup that they have, it looks like it's already better than a couple of the other guys. Looks like from the sounds of things, it looks like and sounds like the not the BMW, the Bentley and the Aston Martin are not going to be super strong here. So, oh, big spin. Who was that? Not any of our guys. That was Jonas Lagesson having a big spin coming out of chicane. Don't know if he got tapped or not. But Jack, after one lap, has gained 3 spots. He's up into 15th. And he's got a Dastan Ferroxad in that Aston Martin that we've seen so many times right behind him. Dastan. And we got... we have Andrew and Colin still sitting pretty in 6th and 7th. I'm not sure what the strategy is today. I honestly don't know. None of them have really driven the track much, so it's going to be an up-in-the-air kind of thing. But Colin doing a good job of sticking with this pack, getting that draft down the straight. And the straights on this track are not super long either. That's one of the things is you only have one really long straight, and that is after turn 3, and then that's about it. Because there's little kinks in all the straights, so only one slam door, only one of the straights is really going to be beneficial for a draft. As Lorieux and Burns go side by side in the first hairpin, or last hairpin, sorry. Going a little bit wide, kicking up some dust into Jesper Burns and Colin Sanders' faces there. That looked like a pretty clean move to me. Didn't look like anything malicious. Didn't look like anything more than just some rubbing his racing. But that's going to help Colin now keep up with Jesper Burns, stay in that draft. And if Andrew can stick with him, it'll help keep him up with this pack too. But it looks like Lorieux is actually starting to pull away from Colin and Jesper. Lots of dust on the little green patches on the outside of these, on the exits of these corners. The turf. I can't remember what it's called. It's not grass. It's like artificial turf basically. Very nice shot of Colin's car. Nice shot of Andrew's car. Oh, looks like Jack has had a little bit of I don't know if he had an incident or what happened, but he's lost 1 spot, and Dastan has gained 2 spots on him, so I don't know if he just had a minor little off track or something, but it looks like he's going to be able to catch up to this Bentley. Is that a Bentley? Pedro? Yep, he's in the Bentley. Pedro Gomez, who we haven't seen for a while, is back racing. Obviously having a busy life, which is great. I mean, nothing is worse than having, or nothing's better than having a busy life sometimes. So. Jack's doing a good job keeping up with these guys. Their drivers are going to have to be very careful with cars coming out of pit lane, as pit lane is right on the exit of The exit of pit lane is right on the exit of turn 3, so, or turn 2. Yeah, turn 2. Coming into the hairpin. That is turn 5 there, that hairpin. Turn 6 is really not a turn. Into turn 7 and then turn 8. Down into the second 180 of turn 9. Where we have the wicked camera angle all the way around the turn. That's really cool. Into turn 10. Straight into turn 11, a little bit of a kink. Turn 11 is not really a turn, it's more of a kink. And then we come down to turn 12 and 13, Imola corners. Up into the second hairpin, turn 14. And then back down this little straight under the Bridgestone Bridge. That apparently is called the, like this little part that he just went through is called the chicane. I don't know why, it's not a chicane. Into turn 15, the Lycée pin. And then in the last chicane, turn 16, turn 17. Onto the start-finish straight. Oh, Jack with a big avoidance. Why, that was very dangerous. Good job on Jack to keep from plowing into the back of that car, flashing his headlights. He was not happy about that. Andre Rosu parked it on the racing line as Jack come around corner 17 out of that chicane. Oh, I think Howard was right there watching it, so let's see what he got.
Jack, you can comment on the race radio and yelled from his car that why would you park that right on the racing line? Yeah, and then he had some other choice words for him. But nonetheless, yeah, I think they'll move on. I don't think he has too much damage. I hope not. Yeah, I believe he did. So, but he had to lock his brakes up to. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like he locked them up and just got off the brake just enough to turn just in time before taking critical damage, because that would have hurt everything. Let's go on board with Colin and Andrew here. Colin doing a good job of keeping up with Jesper Burns, with Andrew keeping a distance behind. He's about 2 seconds behind of Colin. Not a big deal. Probably going to try and play pit strategies here. It looks like all of our drivers except for Jack are on the... So, 2 of our drivers, so Colin and Andrew on the softs, and Jack is on the mediums. So, all 3 drivers going for different... As there's a car off track. That, I'm going to say, is Jonas Lagesson, I do believe.
These guys were talking about before the race, and I'm not sure if you mentioned it already, Rick, but they were talking. This was, this was going to be a tough track. There was going to be a lot of, I don't think too many people know this track very well, and there was going to be, even though you have to trust the drivers you're driving in amongst, that was going to be tough on this track.
Yeah, I kind of mentioned a little bit at the beginning that the guys were saying it's very flat and very technical, so very, very difficult. It looks like a fun track. Like I said, I haven't driven it, but it looks like a fun track. It's just very, very technical. Lots of chicanes, lots of medium speed chicanes. Then the last 2 corners, 16, 17, are the very slow chicanes. So coming out of the Bridgestone Bridge, that's really weird to say, but I don't know why Bridgestone would name their tires after a bridge. But hey, I'm not the owner of the company, the CEO of the company, founder, whatever. To each their own. Jack is
a long story, and I'll get on that as color commentary. I'll give you some history on Bridgestone.
Jack is holding strong in P15. He's got Johan Carlson back behind him, about between a second to a second and a half, depending on where they are on track behind him. Johan's also got a battle going on with Mirko Losito in the Audi R8. So that's going to allow Jack to pull away. Jack has no battle going on, and he's got a battle going on behind him, so they're going to slow each other down while Jack can just pull away. And then we have Andrew and Colin still 6 and... they're 5th and 6th now. somebody has had a minor mishap, so Colin and Andrew have moved up one spot for free by the looks of it, as they're still chasing down Jesper Burns, keeping that. They're kind of keeping about half a second to a second gap, Colin is, and then Andrew's keeping about a 2-second gap to Colin. So Colin having a little more practice than Andrew on this track, but nothing major.
Hey everybody, how am I coming through? Oh, looks like I'm coming through great. Excellent. So here's some history from Bridgestone Tires. Founded in 1931 by Japanese man Shojiro Ishibashi in the city of Fukuoka, Japan. It comes from a calc translation and transposition of Ishibashi, meaning stone bridge in Japanese.
Stone Bridge, I think, would have been a much cooler name for a tire, though. Stone Bridge just sounds awesome.
As of 2021, Bridgestone/Firestone is the largest manufacturer of tires in the world.
That sounds pretty right. Looks like Andrew's actually starting to have some company back here. He's starting to drop off from Colin. I don't know if it's a plan to keep these guys behind. Looks like Andrew may end up being in the middle of a black Corvette sandwich like Jack was last week. So we hope Andrew can fight them both off. One of them is Philip Gustafsson, who Jack raced against last week, the whole race, and then Bertil Wallen, who we haven't really seen much of, haven't really talked about at all. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does going up against some of these faster guys. Looks like
Corvette sandwich. That's a good item.
That's a very good item.
That's what I like to order on the menu next time I'm in the racing store.
Jack is still doing good in the back there. He's still up in 15th, so he's gained 3 spots off the start, which is great. I'm just going to check on Vlad. Yeah, he's still in the Aston Martin because he had to drive it. He was told that he has to. He's not allowed to drive the Porsche and not get any points. He has to stay in the car that he signed up in, which is 100% fair. Good job on the stewards for that. But Jack doing good. He's keeping that gap behind him. That gap hasn't changed much. Still 1 to 1.5 seconds. But he is losing a little bit of time to Dastan in front of him. That gap is now 8.5 seconds. So Jack just doing his thing, racing hard. The 3 guys in front of Jack are all on the same tires, and all the cars behind him are on softs. So Jack has a tire disadvantage to all the cars behind him, but he's doing a very good job of keeping the pace high enough to keep them back there.
And obviously from his comments, he knows what the racing line is and how to plant on it.
I would hope so. Looks like Andrew is kind of keeping that company at bay that he had coming up behind him. It looks like Bertil Wallen actually had a little bit of a spin off track, so that's allowed Andrew a little bit of breathing room, as Philippe Gustafsson is actually 1.5 seconds behind Andrew, so that gives him that little extra second of breathing room to the car behind him. Doesn't have to worry too much. And Colin is actually pushing hard. He's now 0.5 seconds behind Jesper here, so let's ride on board and see what the view looks like.
All those fans in the stands today. Looks like a nice day in France.
Yeah, it looks like a very good day. The ambient temperature is only 2 degrees though, so it's freaking cold. But the track temp is 30 degrees. It's like summer on the track, but it's cold as balls in the air.
Yeah, that's because the sun's shining down on it, and then these cars, they get it warmed up pretty quick. So that there's a distinction. Wow, just showing the difference between ambient air temperature and track temperatures.
Colin is doing a good job. He's not letting these guys get away as those BMWs start tangling in front into the hairpin there. A lot of these corners, I don't understand how they're called corners, but hey. Coming to turn 7, into turn 8, they are allowed to use all that curbing on turn 8. Oh, Michael Brooks is off in that Bentley.
Oh no.
Poor guy. He was expressing that he was having a hard time with his setup for this track, which is understandable. Like no other league I've seen has actually raced on this track. Colin getting a little bit slidey through there.
You can see that sausage curbing.
Yep.
If you catch it, you sure get a bit of a ride.
Under the, this is the chicane. That is called the chicane. That little kink. That is what they call the chicane. I don't know why. Coming into turn 15 here. Speed up a little bit, then you got to brake, go into 16, out into 17, and then power out down the start-finish straight.
How is that not called a chicane? 16 and 17.
No, no, before turn 15 is called the chicane. Like, I don't understand. I don't get why
That's
they
what I'm
called
saying.
it.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, Jesper off track. Colin just having to avoid. Very good job. Now he's got to catch up to these two BMWs, the one he had an entanglement with last race. So we'll see if there's any bad blood left after that. Coming into turn 5, the slowest corner on the track. Coming down to turn 6, this little kink under the Alliance Bridge.
Looks like Michael Brooks says DNF'd.
Yeah, unfortunately. That's really unfortunate because he didn't race last week, so it's unfortunate for him. That kind of sucks. I don't know if he took damage. It didn't look like he had any damage early on the race. I know Jack went passing him like he was standing still, so maybe he did take damage. I don't know. But that's still damage or just DNF. Andre Rosu, that car that Jack almost barreled into the back of, coming out of turn 17, that little blue and white McLaren has DNF'd as well. Looks like he took some damage out of that chicane and just couldn't bear with it, so that's unfortunate for him. Andrew is still sitting pretty in 6th here. We're gonna go to Andrew here and see what's happening. Still got about a 1.5 second gap to Javier Conti behind him, and looks like Philippe Gustafsson in the black Corvette, who was chasing him down, has either spun out or had a very bad exit out of a corner and let Javier Conti and Fabio Carax pass him in those McLarens. Let's go check with Jacoboy here. Oh, he looks like he's got an angry Corvette and an angry Aston Martin chasing him down, so he's doing a good job. That gap still hasn't changed. Still about 1 to 1.5 seconds, depending on where they are on track. The gap to Bertil Wallen in front of him, however, is quite big. However, it looks like there's a 3-way battle for 12th between Dastan, Dennis Van de Ven, and Bertil Wallen, so that should hopefully help Jack catch up. This is going to be the most interesting part of the entire race. The exit of pit lane onto the exit of corner 3 or 2. That's going to be very interesting.
Looks a little dangerous almost.
Super slow corner as you hear all the engines gear way down.
That's a good shot of that that hairpin, eh?
Yeah, that shot, and I think it's turn 9 is the next good one. The next really good shot, you watch the car go all the way around it. So we're coming into it right now. This cameraman's got the best seat in the house all the way around turn 9. Look at that angle. See that car, a beautiful car all the way around the track. That's awesome. See how Colin's doing. Colin's actually pulled quite a decent gap to Jesper Burns behind him. He's actually starting to reel in those two BMWs who are battling. Jack Evans is actually not that far up the road. Like, usually he's pretty gone unless you can keeping that toe. So he's not doing too good on the track that he probably hasn't driven. These two BMWs of Valentin Iliev and Jean-Michel Lorieux, teammates. I don't know if they're battling it out or if they're just testing each other's limits. I don't know why they'd be doing that. They should literally just be helping each other pull away from Colin and try to catch up to Mr. Evans up there in first place.
Well, we've seen even in our own team a couple of opportunities where just miscommunication, momentary lapse of you know, being on the same page, what have you, and yeah, I mean it can happen, right? So, but normally, wow, yeah, Colin really is pulling on those guys, eh? Yeah, he's gonna be making a push at them here probably in the next lap or so.
Yeah, that gap, when we got back on board with Colin, the gap was about 1.2, 1.1, 1.2. It's now down to 0.7. A little bit more now as the BMWs just had a better pull out of the chicane there, but Jesper Burns is doing a good job of keeping up. Andrew, I don't know if Andrew's just trying to hold these guys up to let Colin get away or what, but he's dropping back from 5th place. He's about 5 seconds behind, so could be fuel saving, could be tire saving, could be both, could be holding these guys up. Who knows? That's a nice little pack behind him.
I mean, they're like you said, they're doing some interesting stuff with. We don't really know, and they don't know the track that well, so they're trying some stuff. So we may be seeing some team strategy here, or some individual strategy on Andrew's part. Andrews, the last couple of races, has gone out with a first pit or watching, you know, first place pit kind of strategy, and let's see what he's maybe trying something a little different for this race. So
yeah, none of us know. I don't even think they might have an idea of what they want their strategy to be, but it's all going to depend on how their tires are, how their fuel is, how each other are doing probably. So it's a track, like we've said, not very many not very many laps. Oh my gosh, I need a 1 minute here, guys. It's just been a day. It's been a day. That's how I felt. That's how I've felt all morning so far. It's horrible. Colin losing a little bit of ground as he's trying to hold up Jesper now. Jesper's trying to put the pressure on Colin while Colin's trying to put the pressure on these BMWs. So if they can work together, they can catch up to these BMWs and then put the pressure on together and work their way past. Yes, you're on different teams, but it's more beneficial for the two of you to work together to catch the leaders. And then you can battle it out at the end of the race when you're both in first and second.
Well, and Jesper Burns and Colin have raced against each other before as well, so they kind of have each other's measure, I would imagine. So we'll see what happens. Colin was a little wide out of that corner, and managed to keep it on. I think as you start to see pitting go on here, this exit to the do you know what the ruling is? Do you have to be on the left side of the white line until it ends?
As far as I know, same pit lane procedure like every other race, every other track. You have to stay in the pit lane, like between the curb and the white line, all the way around until you cross the white line that goes across the road. When you're coming out of the pits, as far as I'm aware, from what I've seen, is the drivers that are still on the track coming around turn 2, they have to stay on the right-hand side of that white line to hopefully not have any collisions, but weirder things have happened.
We're going to go past it here and just see how far these guys go while they're racing, whether they cross that line or not.
I mean, it doesn't look like they are. Some of them are putting like two wheels over, but nothing major for the time being. Maybe that's the line, is stay tight around it. Maybe, I don't know. It's going to be somebody's going to end up sliding wide, and somebody's going to just be unfortunate coming out of the pits and get hit. Weirder things have happened, like we've said, right? So. Andrew's got a nice little group coming up behind him. The two McLarens and Matteo Dentella in that BMW are all starting to gain on him just a little bit. Colin and Jesper are starting to catch up to Valentin Iliev, and it looks like Jack Evans is actually starting to put on the afterburners a little bit, trying to pull away.
after the last couple races for Jack Evans, where
Colin and Andrew have really been on his tail. He's
just
like,
buzzing him, right? Yeah. It's like, all right, I have some freedom from those guys for a little bit.
those damn TracksVR cars, man, they won't leave me alone. No, it's gonna come down to pits. I think the pitting is gonna be the big one on this track. I do believe you have to have a really good in lap, and then have a really good out lap to make sure you don't get undercut or anything. But we're gonna see. Colin is the first of the TracksVR cars to dive into the pits. Andrew's staying out for another lap. So we are about 30 minutes into the race, and Colin is the first one to pit, so he's going to be pitting and going on the medium tires for the rest of this race. Andrew will be doing the same shortly here, I'm sure, and we have Jack still out. Jack is on the mediums. He's got a nice little battle coming up. That Aston Martin has been catching him a little bit every lap, so that blue flag car, very well done, getting out of the way off the racing line, being very predictable like they should be. Very good job by that blue flag. Very, very good job. I don't know who that is, but props to you. I'm going to say that's Antonello. Yep, Antonello, good job, my man. Wow, Colin's lost a lot.
Wow, down.
Colin came out
9 places.
Colin came out in 14th. Jack has been telling him, I heard that on the radio. Jack just said, go, 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 go. He's on the fresher tires, and Jack knows Colin's a little bit faster than him anyway, so he just said, no, go, go, go. I'll try to hold these guys up behind us. This is where teamwork's going to come out. Yep.
Yeah, Team TracksVR, that's right.
That's the teamwork coming in. Jack does his job, holds up the guys behind him, and lets Colin just drive off into the sunset.
Sorry to Vlad, Johan, and Jonas.
Yeah, no kidding, hey? Those four guys were like, shit! Andrew's doing good now. He's got a good little gap. It looks like Fabio and Matteo had a little bit of a coming together by the looks of it, as they lost some time on Andrew, as Jack Evans and Jesper Burns both come into the pits. Yeah, Jack Evans and Jesper are in there, so that's going to put Andrew into P3 currently in this pit strategy at the moment. So I'm just going to keep my eye on Jack Evans, see how far back he drops. He was in first. Oh, Fabio Carex has pitted as well. Jesper Burns. Yeah, Jesper Burns is going to lose some time. Colin's going to overtake Jack Evans, so that's actually pit strategy has worked out good for Colin. He had a wicked outlap.
Nice.
Colin got the undercut on Jack Evans. That's going to make him feel really good. Oh, it's just unfortunate. Jack Evans just barely comes out in front of Jack. That could have helped out Colin a little bit more if he'd come out behind Jack. It would have, our Jack would have held up the other Jack to keep Colin, or give Colin some more space.
Now we got Vlad right on Jack Evans' butt, and Vlad, as we know, Vlad can drive pretty good.
Vlad's a good driver. Vlad still has to pit, though. Vlad is on the soft, so he's going to be pitting pretty quick. Jack boy, our Jack, is on the medium, so he's actually going to be able to go a little bit longer still, and he's going to be coming out on the soft, so he'll have the tire advantage, the major tire advantage coming into his second stint. We got Andrew up here. He's still out on track. Colin he's got about 3.5 seconds to Jack Evans behind him, and he's got a 10-second gap to the car in front, so he's got lots of breathing room to just push, which is going to be very, very good for him. His pit strategy, I guarantee he didn't expect that to work out that good, but he had a wicked outlap, so.
Well, and as we saw, the teamwork with Jack, Jack Hammer, on the track, being able to hold off those guys and give Colin a little bit of space just so he could start that outlap, and get those tires warmed up real quick and get moving.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like Jack Evans has actually closed that gap to 2.6. I don't know if Colin had a little bit of an off track, but there's that gap. I'm going to assume that's going to be the lead gap right there. After all the pitting is done, I guarantee that will probably be the battle for the lead, is that little bit of a gap. That 3-second gap there. But Colin is catching up to Bertel Wallen, who is actually battling with Dennis Van de Ven in the funky
Enemy
the
car.
Roar car, the V-Roar. So they're going to start battling. If they keep battling, it's going to help Colin catch up. And then Colin's got to hope and pray that he can get past them fast enough. The Dennis Van de Ven and Bertel Wallen have not pitted yet, so that's going to help a little bit too. And I'm going to say a pit stop if you're just pitting for tires, which could have been what Colin did. He could have just pitted for tires because he was in and out relatively quick. So that's going to be the other thing, the fuel. If they have to pit for fuel, it's going to slow them down quite a bit because I think they were saying it takes about 20 seconds, or no, it's about 12 seconds for tires, and then depending on how much fuel, could be anywhere from 10 to 40 seconds for fuel. So that gap to Jack Evans is now, as somebody else goes through the pits, it's now 1.2, 1.3 seconds. So Jack Evans really putting on the afterburners.
Yeah, just pushing hard, eh?
Remember, Jack Evans also races cars in real life, so he's got the real life experience. He knows where he can push, how he can push, all that stuff. I don't think he's raced this track in real life, but just any kind of racing in real life is good enough to help. So, but it's going to be good because Colin. It's going to be nice to see how Colin holds him up. This is Hamilton and Verstappen playing with each other right now. Or no, we'll say it's Perez or Verstappen helping Perez chase everybody else down.
Well, Colin is of Dutch ancestry, and Jack Evans is from England, as far as we know. So there we go. I guess an apt enough.
Yeah, that's Colin is our Verstappen. There we go. Andrew is now in the pits. Andrew has come into the pits, so let's see where Colin comes out. Coming under the Bridgestone Bridge. Coming down to turn 15 here.
Is that the Bridgestone Stone Bridge?
The Stone Bridge? Bridgestone? Yeah, I don't know.
Bridgestone Stone Bridge?
All right, so there's Colin. Andrew's still in the pits. Oh, Andrew had to take on lots of fuel, I'm going to assume. There he goes. He's leaving now. I'm going to keep my eye on that and see where Andrew comes out. Colin is up into 6th with Jack Evans hot on his heels. Andrew is actually going to come out in 11th place, so didn't lose too much. He only lost 8 spots from that.
Jackhammer's just he's being the anchor for the team.
He's
here.
really
Just
doing
everyone's
a good job.
Doing an excellent job.
He knows he'll be, obviously they'll be on the comms. Andrew will be saying that he came out behind him, so when he starts to catch up, Jack will most likely just let him on by because they're pushing for, I mean, every point we get helps for the team championship. It is only the top 2 finishers for the team that get points for the team, but I know Andrew is pushing to try to get first place in the Drivers' Championship, so let's hop on board with this battle. The battle we've seen so many races before already. The last 2 especially. Alright, so it looks like the 5 drivers. So this is the battle for the lead right now. As we have Matteo, Valentin, and Pedro have all come into the pit. So Colin and Jack Evans are going to pass them in the pit lane. And then we still have Dennis Van de Ven and Dastan to pit as well. So Colin and Jack Evans are going to be taking P1 and P2 real quick here.
Well, Dastan's probably not going to pit till the last 10 minutes of the race. We know that.
I was trying not to say it, but knowing him, it probably will happen.
Dastan, if you're listening later, we think it's awesome, dude, but it's just like you are stubborn about it.
Maybe he watches after and he knows he's like, I know they're gonna comment, so I'm gonna do it anyway. because he knows it gets him a little bit of screen time, right? Like, there he is in his XOSX racing car, yeah.
There you go, Destan, yeah.
He's got Van de Ven behind him, about 12 seconds behind him, so. But here's Colin coming into turn 9. Yeah, blue flag, get out of the way, good job. Looks like Andrew has caught up to Jack now, so I'm sure in the next few corners here, those fresh tires for Andrew are going to, yep. Probably one of the better places to get past.
And allowing Jack to stay in front of that BMW.
Yep, that was a very, very smart play because Jack knows how to make his car fat. So that BMW ain't getting past him anytime soon. Go back on board with this battle. 2 Corvettes going at it yet again. So yes, everyone has pitted except Vlad Tokarev and Jack, our Jack, Dennis Van de Ven, and Dastan Farrokhzad. Oh, what was that? I heard Jack freaking out about something. Somebody tried to make a move work that wasn't going to work, maybe? It's keeping that BMW behind him, though. That's good. Allowing Andrew to pull away. And Loriu in that BMW behind Jack is on fresher tires, so fresher mediums, so he's going to be putting the pressure on Jack a little bit more. Jack just has to park that car on the apex, and he'll be totally fine. Colin pulled out a little bit of a gap to Jack Evans there. Not much, only about a tenth or so. Coming out of turn 9 and turn 10. They're catching up to... How can they be catching up to Dennis Van de Ven? Oh, they're a second and a half. I'm looking at the wrong number, that's why. They're a second and a half gap to Dennis Van de Ven. That's why they're catching up to him. Too many numbers to look at, man.
Come on, you're doing better. You're not mumbling
my Red Bull is starting to slowly kick in. That's why.
Oh, hey, honorary mention to Red Bull.
Yes.
Thank you so much for providing us with some Red Bull to fuel our streaming and racing. Thanks, Red Bull. It gives you wings? I don't know. Anyways.
All right, this is the battle for second on the track. However, Dennis Van de Ven is going to just be a pylon for the time being until he pits. So, and he's on old mediums, whereas Colin and Jack Evans are on the newer mediums. So that big Corvette accordion going on here. We have just under 34 minutes left in the race, and like I said, this is going to be the battle for the lead. Colin feeling very confident, although I'm sure he's really keeping that like one eye on Jack and one eye on the road there in front of him. So Van de Ven is in the funky V-Roar Corvette. Yep.
Oh, right. There's another Corvette sandwich.
Yeah. Corvette in a Corvette sandwich. And Van de Ven still has yet to pit, so... Oh, that's unlucky. That really doesn't help Colin at all.
Yeah.
He most likely would have preferred only him getting past Van de Ven so easy, but with Van de Ven going off track there just a hair, it allowed Evans to get past him pretty easy. Evans having a little bit of a slide coming out of that last chicane, pushing just a wee bit too hard. Let's go on board with Andrew. He's caught up to Vlad Tokarev here, who I believe has yet to pit, and he's on old softs, so Andrew should be able to catch him and make quick work of him when he gets there. Jacoboy...
Yeah, Vlad hasn't pitted yet. Yeah.
Jacoboy is got a very fresh tire. Fabio Carax right behind him. Jack still has not pit as of yet, so that McLaren behind him is on the fresher mediums, where Jack is on old mediums, like 45 minutes old. So Looks like Valentin Ilya, Jean-Michel Lorieux has gotten past Jack. It's just the old tires. As you can see, Jack just not having the confidence going into the braking zones with his old tires. They're a little bit worn after 45 minutes, so Jack will probably be coming in here in the next couple laps.
Weirdly worn rubber.
Yeah. Jack's not doing bad though. He's still 11th overall. When he goes into the pits, it's gonna lose him a lot.
Spot. Yeah.
He'll lose 4 for sure, possibly 5. But he'll still be 2 spots up from where he qualified. He qualified 18th, so we'll see how it goes. Andrew made quick work of Vlad Tokarev there, which we expect, and he's already starting to pull out a gap. Let's head on board with Colin and Jack Evans. This is the battle for the lead. I know it doesn't say that, but Dastan hasn't pitted yet, so we have to take that into consideration. Unless he doesn't pit, then he'll just get disqualified, and this is still the battle for the lead. So it doesn't really matter what happens, unless they kill each other, which I don't think they will. They're both very competitive, but very controlled and respectful of each other. So
they've tangled a couple of times, but I think
nothing major. And it's always been cordial in the chat, in the Discord chat and stuff. They're never at each other's throats. They're always good about it. So, I mean, if you're ever at somebody's throats about who's faster, just get back on the track and drive the two of you and see who's better. That's how you settle an argument, is settle it on the track. Like,
oh, Colin sure is sitting on that race.
He's like,
line.
I ain't
Nicely
getting
done.
off the apex. He is not getting off of that apex. It's still only 2 DNFs so far. That's actually like a season high.
Yeah, it's well done, all the drivers.
Usually there's like 4 or 5 by this point. So only 2 DNFs out of 23 drivers. Well done to everybody. And it looks like it's a lot cleaner today too. It doesn't look like anything is malicious or anything. It looks like Jack's gonna have that McLaren of Javier Conti, that black and yellow McLaren, in his mirror, as Dastan has pitted at the 30-minute mark. So is he going? He's going to be going on the softs, I think, or on the mediums. I'm not sure. Anyway, doesn't matter because Colin is in first place. So this is going to be the battle we go back to in a second here. See how Jack can hold up. Oh, he's staying out. Javier Conti and Matteo Dentella on fresher tires than Jack. Remember, Jack is still on the same tires he started the race in. So, I was gonna say I almost had to stick something in my mouth to keep myself from yapping because my live timing glitched out a little bit and said Jack Evans was like 2 seconds behind Colin, but it was just a glitch. He's still 3/10 behind him. Colin's doing a very good job keeping him there. Less than 29 minutes left, so we got, I mean, that's still lots of race. At 1.5 minutes, 1 minute 40 seconds a lap, that's a lot of race left.
That's an awesome
There
camera
we
angle,
go.
Rick.
As I played with the buttons a little bit.
So that just shows you the pressure that Colin's under right now, real well. You know, at speed, and this gives you the kind of perspective, obviously not of the driver, but you can see how close Jack Evans is, and he's just sniffing every corner almost. You can see him making a little bit of just figuring, can I do it? Can I do it? You know. So that's a pretty cool camera angle you got there, Rick.
Yeah. This is what the fans and stuff would see as they come down a main straight. If you're sitting kind of in front of them at this next corner or whatever, this is exactly what you'd see. Looks like Jacoboy has come into the pit lane. So we're just going to keep an eye and see how many spots he loses. I said he was going to lose about 5, maybe 6. Looks like he's going to lose 6. I don't see him losing any more than that. I'm just going to hop on board with him. Yeah, he's still in there, so he's going to be there for a bit. He might lose 1 more, actually. Might. But we'll see. That very slow hairpin. This battle is actually going to allow Jesper Burns to catch up, which can make this a 3-way battle for first place, which would probably not be in Colin's plans. Jack only lost 6 spots. Jackaboy only lost 6 spots.
On track. Excellent. Well done.
So he is back on track. Okay. Back.
After that long run, I mean, you know what? He went as long as Destan did.
Yeah.
He went 1 lap longer.
Yeah, I think he... where did Dastan even... Oh, Dastan came out in 13th, so he lost 12 spots. And Vlad Tokarev has finally decided to pit. We saw if Dennis Van de Ven still has yet to pit too. Holy criminy. So that's going to get Andrew a position when Dennis Van de Ven pits.
Maybe that Andrew will be up in this battle here with...
Jesper getting a little bit squirrely.
Jesper, a little squirrely. Because there's Andrew way in the background, guys.
Yep. Colin pulling out. He's up to like 7/10 of a second gap. Looks like Jack Evans just has a little more confidence in his setup into some of these corners. But Colin is doing a very good job of just keeping on the apex and pulling away when he can. This is going to be a good little 3-way battle coming up pretty quick here, I think. Oh, yellow in sector 2. I don't know who spun out. I can't tell. Doesn't look like anybody really making an issue for anybody. Looks like they got back on track pretty quick. Into that last chicane. Yeah, Jack Evans seems to consistently get a better run out of that last chicane than Colin does. But then Colin's a little bit better in Sector 2, I think he's a little bit quicker. And then they're kind of even in Sector 3, so. Jesper seems to be slower in Sector 1 than both of them. And then he kind of creeps up a little bit in Sector 2, and then he kind of stays even with them in Sector 3. Van de Ven is finally come into the pits. So that's going to put Andrew in P4 at the moment. He has a 7-second gap to Jesper in 3rd place, so he should be coming around that hairpin any minute now. Yeah, there he is. There's Andrew way at the back. Just come around that hairpin. Come at turn 7, turn 8. Jack Evans really close coming into turn 9. Colin getting a little bit sideways. Could really see the Drivatar there really hanging on tight.
What did you just call it?
Drivatar? The dude driving the car. He's like a Drivatar. What now?
Cool. Awesome. So now we have Drivatars. See? We're becoming part of our own metaverse there, Zuckerberg.
We just make our own memes. We don't need nobody doing it for us. We do it ourselves. Once again, Jack Evans. Oh, Fabio Carex has had a DNF. That would have been that yellow in Sector 2.
What if he hit the wall?
It's almost like the last chicane is like the Champions Wall at Montreal. Basically exactly the same. Chicane and everything with a wall right there, yep. So that's gonna put Jack up 1 more spot. So Jack is gonna be 15th at the moment, and that will put him 3 spots ahead of where he qualified. Jack Evans giving Colin a little bit of a bump or a little bit of a kiss there, just saying, hey, I'm still here. Let's
I'm
push.
right here, right behind you. Yeah.
Jesper has cut that gap down to like 8/10, 9/10. Oh, he was really uncomfortable in that little kink there. Lost a lot of time, but gains it all back up in the braking zone. Holy. He gained like 4/10 just in that braking zone. That was very, very brave of him. Almost could have made a move on Jack Evans too. That would have been nice. That would have really shaken things up.
Yeah, I think Colin would prefer that Jesper Burns was a lot closer and was making Jack Evans just, think twice about what he was doing with Colin.
Exactly. Yeah, adding a third car into the mix makes the middle car always in the worst spot because he's got to worry about trying to attack and defend at the same time. Whereas the front car, all they have to do is worry about defending. The back car only has to worry about attacking, so they only have one thing on their mind. The middle car, poor guy. Sneaking a nose up the inside, having a peek. Jesper might just be biding his time. Like, he does get close, and then he kind of just drops off a little bit, and then he gets close and drops off. Could be waiting for these guys to make a mistake. We do have 21 minutes left, so.
Way back there is Andrew.
Yeah, the little blip coming under the ING sign. That's Andrew way back there. Turn 5, turn 6, coming into turn 7 here. Oh, that's turn 6, sorry. Onto the Alliance Bridge, into turn 7. Turn 8, use all the curb. Turn 9. This is where Jesper made up all the time in the braking zone last lap. Didn't make up very much there, though.
It's pulling time on Jack Evans.
Yeah. Oh,
shit.
now we got a blue blue flag. Oh.
That allowed Jack Evans to try something with Colin.
Nothing major though. Nothing major.
Yeah.
Let me push this button. Where's the button? That button there. Let's push that button.
Cool numbers up on the screen there, Rick.
What numbers do you want? The car numbers? Oh, the battle for first. Where's my battle for first? Battle for first. Come on, pop up. There we go. I could do the extended battle too, and we could be like, hey, this is... Is that black Corvette? No, that's a lap car too, okay.
That's, yeah.
This is a nice little battle. And then we got... Andrew's actually... He's gained on them, actually. That gap is less than 5 seconds now. There's Andrew. He's actually a lot closer than he was a couple laps ago, so... With this battle going on and with the lap traffic coming into play, it's actually going to allow Andrew to catch up.
Yeah, and we're very suddenly going to have a four-way battle for first.
Yeah.
In the last 10 minutes.
It could be
last 8 minutes.
It could end up being a 5-way battle. Loryu is not. He's not super far behind Andrew, so it could end up being a 5-way battle for first place. Holy crap! That'd be a nice little end of the stream.
Cool. Our races have all been really the last
2 races have been awesome.
Yeah. The last 10 minutes of the race is very exciting.
Yeah.
So yeah, looking forward to it here.
Jack is in 15th still, so he's hanging on strong. He's got a 9-second gap to the car behind him and a 15-second gap to the car in front. So the back markers are all pretty spread out. So as this lead pack comes around, they should only be out. They should just pick off one at a time instead of having a pack of them battling. Nothing worse than coming up to battling back markers, because they don't want to move out of the way. They don't want to lose out. Go back to the track side. Coming to the braking zone. Turn 4. Oh no, Colin really wide out of turn 4.
Colin went wide.
Turn 5.
Wide. Oh man. I think
Jack Evans making the smart choice, not going too wide through 7 and 8.
Yeah.
Only one good line through there.
He backed off. That's I don't know. Colin took that corner
really
quite
wide. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just outbroke himself just a hair, but nothing major. So I don't see that happening again anytime soon. And like I said, Colin is better than Jack Evans in certain corners, and then Jack Evans is better than him in other corners, and then they're even in the rest of them, right? So it's a pretty even matchup between these two.
Jesper Burns is just, like you said, I think he's just biding his
Just
time,
hanging
waiting
out.
for these guys to tangle with each other.
Yeah, he's just hanging out. Colin a little bit slippery coming out of turn 16 or turn 15, sorry.
Oh,
Jack Evans trying to get
Jack
that
Evans,
run.
yeah.
Looked like Colin had a better run out of the corner. Just had the better line coming out of turn 17. Colin knowing he just sticks to his line, and he's gonna, what this is making Evans do is, for one, contemplate his life. and two, really get frustrated and get desperate. And once Colin starts making him get desperate is when Jack Evans is going to start to make mistakes. So if you're ahead of somebody, the person behind you is going to try to make you make mistakes, but if you can make them frustrate them enough to where they can't get past you, they will start to do very, very risky things and make a lot more mistakes to try to get past you. Make them desperate, and then that's when they make the mistakes, and that's where you just keep driving and staying in whatever position you're in. So, but this is a very good job.
Making drivers contemplate their life.
Making
The world.
contemplate. I don't know where that came from. It sounded funny to me, so I was like, hey, he's got to contemplate his life. It's like Obi-Wan in Star Wars. You want to go home and rethink your life. Jack Evans losing a lot of time coming out of the last corner there. Colin gained like 5/10 out of corner 14. And then Jack Evans makes it all up in the last two corners in corner 16 and 17. He gets a better run out of the chicane this time. Let's go on board with Andrew here, see how he's doing. He's just kind of chilling, having a good Tuesday drive. He's 4-second gap now to the battle for first, and he has about 3-second gap. So it might only end up being a 4-car battle, as Loryu actually is losing time on Andrew. So where's our boy Jackaboy? Check on Jackaboy here, see how he's doing. He's not doing too bad. He still has a 9-second gap to the car behind, has a 17-second gap to the car in front. So just keep that gap managed, and he'll be fine. He is up 3 spots from his qualifying position, so that is the main thing. He's improved.
Oh, that was a good shot of Colin getting traction coming out of that corner. Just watching those tires really bite.
Yeah. They bite down hard and push you or pull you. Push you? Yeah, rear wheel drive, push you out of the corner. Oh, Colin really wide again.
Again.
That's gonna hand Evans the lead. Now it's Colin's turn to play cat and mouse with Jack Evans. That's okay. Colin feeling the pressure. Colin with the savage dive bomb.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, Colin has damage, I'm going to assume. Oh no, that's not good.
Oh no. That's not good.
That's not good at all. Where I clicked on Andrew. Why did I not click on Andrew? That's okay, because that let Jesper Burns take first place. I think this is the first time Jesper Burns has actually led a race since like round 1.
So, yeah.
I think he led it for 2 laps in round 1 or something, but.
Well, hopefully Colin's all right. We're gonna find out.
Yeah.
His pitting is not on site. So, Jack
Evans
is
going wide there now too. He might have a little bit of damage. I don't know where Colin would have got the damage from, unless he got it in that last corner when he missed his braking point. That did not look like Colin at all, but we'll see. He just come out of the pits, and he's out in 11th place at the moment, so he might be going for fastest lap now. I'm not sure. I'm just going to turn myself down just a hair. But Andrew is 3.5 seconds off of that battle for first place. And it looks like, Jesper Burns going way wide.
Oh, that corner is eating people
Yeah,
up.
that's corner 5, I do believe. So Jack Evans, 2-second gap now to the car behind.
I wonder if Colin had to splash and dash. I wonder if that's.
Oh,
'cause he's
maybe
back.
he needed fuel. Yeah, that's a good call.
I wonder if he just went and got tires.
Yeah. Well, the battle for first is now 2-second gap almost. And Andrew has about a 1.5 to 2-second gap to second place. So if Andrew can catch up, that little incident with Colin is not the greatest. It's going to help Andrew a little bit because it gives him a free spot. But if Andrew finishes third, Jack Evans is just going to pull away with the championship a little bit more, and it's going to make it really hard for the last round next week for Andrew to catch up. And right now, where we're sitting, I do believe Andrew and Colin in the team and Jack in the team championship will actually take first place after this race, as Michael Brooks has DNF'd, Anti-Rassi is not here, and Tomas didn't race. So that's just free points. So we are going to be, Team TracksVR is going to be taking over first place in the team championship after this race. Colin could be going.
A lot of.
There was a lot of in there. Colin is going probably for fastest lap. He is on, where is he here? He is on the soft tires now, so he's probably going for fastest lap to get that extra point. Because every point helps, especially in the standings, where he's sitting 5th at the moment. He might, after they get the incident reports from last round up, he might go up 1 spot, but like I said, I don't know. And then after this round, he will most definitely go up a spot, I think, so.
Well, so last 10 minutes of the race.
Yeah, last 10 minutes. The last couple minutes actually proved to be very interesting with Colin. I don't know, maybe it was his tire, maybe it was fuel, maybe it was tires, maybe he had who knows. We'll have to ask him in the interview after.
I just don't really think that he would have dived in it just to get fuel. Like,
yeah.
He doesn't think like that.
He always thinks ahead, right? It must have been tires to get fastest lap. Or it was a team thing to give Andrew more points. Because it moves Andrew up from 4th to 3rd, right? So it could be that to give Andrew more points to catch up with Evans. Especially after Colin made the mistake and Evans got past him.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just not sure. I'm not sure. Colin is up in the 10th.
Well, we're going to find out in the after-race interviews.
Yeah,
so.
we always do. Jack's just going for a drive, I think, now. He has 19-second gap to the car in front and about an 8-second gap to the car behind, and we have less than 9 minutes left, so about 6 laps.
Yeah, unless something happens up ahead of him, I think he's gonna probably end up there. That's a decent placement for him, as you said.
Yeah.
3 spots up from qualifying on a track that he doesn't know very well, and you know, all our drivers. I just want to hand over kudos to
looks
them.
like Ilyev has DC. Dude, if you're watching, if you hop on over the stream and you're watching, I hope you didn't disconnect, man. That sucks. Because that's 2 races in a row if you disconnected today, too. Because he disconnected last week and then commented that he disconnected,
Valentine.
right?
Yeah, that sucks, Valentine.
That just sucks. Colin is definitely making a push. He's up in the 9th place. So he is making a push. Push.
Got 10.5 seconds to make the Dastan. Yeah, we'll see.
And Dastan is on very old softs. Colin is on like 2-lap old softs, right? So he should be able to catch him.
True.
Should be able to catch him. It's just going to matter how quickly he can catch him. He was quicker in Sector 1 by 3/10, so he gained 3/10 on him there.
If it was a team thing.
That's what I mean. Like, it could, like, that's what I'm thinking. It gives Andrew more points to catch up to Jack Evans after Jack Evans took the first place, right? That's my only, that's the only thing I can see out of it.
Hopefully Jesper Burns can pull up to Jack Evans again and maybe slow both of them down to help Andrew catch them, because he only has what,
6.5
4
minutes, so 4
4
laps.
laps. Yeah,
5 maybe. Yeah, Colin not having a good lap after that back marker. Lost about 1.5 seconds to Dastan in front of him. However, Dastan and Pedro are getting close to have a nice little battle in the Bentley and the Aston Martin, the two cars that apparently were not favorite for this track. So hopefully that will allow Colin in the last 6 minutes to catch up. Andrew still 2.5 seconds back of Jesper Burns, and Jesper Burns about 1 second to 1.5 seconds off of Jack Evans. So unless something really, really bad happens, I think Evans is going to take the win again, unfortunately for us, but good for him. I mean, that's 3 in a row.
Yeah, good for Jack
That's
Evans.
3 in a row for him. Like, that's pretty amazing to have 3 back-to-back wins. Like,
yeah, no, that I mean, dominating performances. He often is racing against our drivers, and he races, you know, very fairly and cleanly, like you've said, and generally not too many incidents, and he's just a good driver.
Yep. Yeah, he's a very good driver. Jack up into 14th with somebody else coming into the pits. Oh, up into 13th as Vlad Tokarev has DNF'd as well. Jackaboy expressing his frustrations with some of the back markers, I'm assuming. Oh, a little bit squirrely there. He's got Jonas Lagesson kind of creeping up. 3 seconds behind him now, so. Where's Colin? Yeah, Colin. Dastan just seems to be a little more comfortable on the weirdly worn soft tires. He's kind of.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah, I know, right? That's weird. That was just weird saying. Like, that was just really weird saying. He's keeping about a 12-second gap to Colin now, so. And then Andrew up here in P3 is 3 seconds behind Jesper. 2.5 to 3, depending on where they are on track. As we all know, that fluctuates depending on who's in a slow corner, who's on the straight, blah, blah, blah.
Looks like Jesper's pulling a little closer to Jack Evans here. Let's go.
It kind of seems to fluctuate a lot in certain sectors, in certain corners. Like, that McLaren seems to be super planted in certain corners, like the slower ones, and then it's not very planted in the fast ones, because he seems very unconfident going into the fast corners. And that's where Jack Evans pulls away. He always pulls away in Sector 1 because it's so many fast corners, and then the slower corners he actually starts to pull in. But Andrew there in the background, not too far off. 3 seconds is not a lot of time. We do have 3 minutes left, so we have 2.5, so we'll say 3 laps left. As if they start their 3rd lap before time runs out. Evans might actually slow down and not do that like they did at Nordschleife, because the guy only had 1 liter of fuel left. Evans coming into some lap traffic, and Jesper going past pretty easy. Let's see if Andrew can get past that lap car pretty easy. Coming into turn 9.
Yeah, the guy got off the line. That was pretty good.
Staying predictable. That's the one thing I was always told, is you always want to stay predictable if you're a back marker. Don't make any stupid sudden changes that could screw up the person passing you, right? Stay predictable. If you move all the way to the left, stay there. Don't all of a sudden move back to the right. Just stay there. It's up to the person passing you to pass you safely. Your job is to be predictable so they can pass you safely. Lots of different things that go on in racing. Lots of different things. Colin now down to a 13.5-second gap, as he now has Dennis Van de Ven on his tail. These two have had some good battles in the past. Colin really wide again. Colin's just, he doesn't like that corner.
No.
Under the Bridgestone Bridge, Stone Bridge Bridge? Bridgestone Bridge?
Bridgestone Stone Bridge.
Bridgestone Stone Bridge. Okay. Bridgestone Stone Bridge. Jiminy. Try saying that 5 times fast. All right, that put Colin into 10th place. So this is the battle for 9th that we are watching. It looks like Jesper Burns is continuously staying between a second to a second and a half behind Jack Evans, and Andrew is actually falling off of that group a little bit. He's down to a 3.5-second gap to second place. So I don't know if he's just fuel saving or what, but that's unfortunate that he just couldn't catch back up. I mean, it's a track he's never driven before. I mean, actually, no. He did say he has not driven this track since Formula 1 2020 or 2002. Was the last time he drove this track. So 19 years ago was when Andrew drove this track. When he was seven?
6 or 7.
6 or 7. Holy Christ, I feel old.
You think
I was just gonna say, holy. 2002, man. Holy crap. Colin must have a little bit of damage or something, because he's dropping off Dennis Van de Ven now. Van de Ven is pulling away pretty easy as they come into that corner. Hey, Colin didn't go wide this time.
Nicely done. It looks like we're just finishing off here. Where's Jack Evans at?
Jack Evans is, yeah, this is our last lap, guys. Jack Evans has started a final lap here, so this is the last lap, and he's got Jesper actually within a second of him, so we'll hang out and watch this battle, and then as they come across the line, we'll hop on board with our drivers. There's Andrew in the background. See, he's not very far away as they come into turn 7 and turn 8. Colin in the pits again. Colin must have damage or something must be wrong. I hope he doesn't DNF the car though. That would be very unfortunate.
Yeah, it would.
That would suck. As Jack Evans here comes around turn 14. If my memory's, yep, under the Bridgestone Bridge. Bridgestone Stone Bridge. I'll get it right at some point. Coming into turn 15, the last hairpin. Jesper Burns right on his tail. Turn 16, turn 17, and first place for Evans. Andrew coming around turn 16, turn 17.
Well done,
Well
Andrew.
done to Andrew
Well done,
for a
Andrew.
third place finish. Where's Colin at? Colin
Well
here.
done.
Now, I don't know if it's going to... I think he came out before, so he does have to do this whole lap. And so does Jack.
Here comes Jack.
So there's Jack. There's Colin. I think Colin is... yeah, Colin's ahead of Jack, so...
Yeah.
Coming out of the Bridgestone Zone Bridge. Coming out of turn 15. The last hairpin. Oh, big slide, big slide, big slide. Good catch, good save. Into 16, 17, cut in the corner. Just saying, I'm done with this track. Get me the heck away from it already.
Oh, poor Colin,
into
man.
turn
What a
14.
good drive. What a good drive he had. I hope it wasn't just, damage.
Yeah, me too. Jacoboy doing a good job. He's up into P13, coming in the last hairpin. All he's got to do is keep it on track, and he will keep Laugesen behind him, coming to 16. And then 17. Well done to Jack with a P13 finish.
Yeah.
Well done to everybody. Well done to all the back markers today. You guys all every one of them got out of the way the proper way. Everybody did a good job, didn't cause any issues. my shout out goes to the back markers. I know it's not fun being lapped by people, but you guys all did a great job and you all hung out there. Condolences to those of you that did DNF or
Yes.
DC'd or whatever it was. That's super, super unfortunate. So
Yeah, it is unfortunate, and you know what? I'll give a word to all those guys. They drive their hardest, and then to have unfortunate incidents happen on the track. And we recognize most of those names from guys that we have raced against and with for a couple of seasons now. So, guys, but you know, a good job to all of our drivers to not DNF. Congratulations, guys. It's always exciting to watch Team TracksVR as we get some donuts at the end. See, even Colin is saying, okay, you know what? We still do this for fun. So there we go. Go do some donuts, buddy. Yeah, I'll end off and then we'll do some interviews and stuff here. But just thank you from me to all you, all the race fans. Thanks to our sponsors, FN40's podcast, broadcast live out of the Blind Beggar Pub. Thank you to them. They're a local business that could use your business. So give them some business. And then Ring King Custom Chainmail, local business that could use your business. Please give them business. Look them up on social media. Check them out. Buy some stuff from them. And hey, if you're ever in town and doing the same thing, buy some stuff from me. I'd love to have you down, or even just come down and have a chat about racing. Anyways, thank you so much, guys. From here at our headquarters in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, Earth. I love you all.
yeah, guys, definitely support local this Christmas season, or holiday season. For those of you that don't celebrate Christmas, definitely support local companies. They appreciate your business a million times more than any large company will. You also get treated a lot better by their customer service. At least that's what I've experienced from every local small company I've gone to. Their customer service 1,000,000% better than a place like Walmart or Target or whatever. So definitely support small, and you'll make somebody else's Christmas, not just your families and friends. So, but we're gonna go for a quick break here while I go and have a quick pit stop of my own and congratulate the drivers. We'll be right back with our interviews here as the drivers settle down and congratulate each other and all that good stuff after the race, and we'll be right back.
Have you been locked up all year? Tired of the same old routine? We've got you covered at TracksVR. We have 12 full-motion simulators incorporating VR technology to put you in the driver's seat of a race car. With our team of sim experts, we can help guide you whether you're a beginner or a seasoned veteran. From Ferrari to AlphaTauri and all the teams in between, we've got the largest selection of F1 racing merchandise in Western Canada. We clean all the equipment before and after each use and disinfect all high touch points. Forget about the Zoom presentation on Monday. Forget about the holes in the wall for your kids' virtual soccer practice. Bring your future champions down here. We're open for retail viewing and product testing. We want to bring our passion for racing to you here at TracksVR.
Alrighty. Colin, are you there, my man?
Sure am.
Sure am. Do you have to work tonight?
Nope.
No? Okay. So you're not in like a massive rush. Okay. I know Andrew and Jack are just having their pit stops. One question I want to ask you is what happened in the last 15 minutes of the race?
Oh, my pit stops were glitching and I wasn't getting fuel in, the proper amount of fuel in when I went in, so I had to make a second pit stop for fuel, and then even when I came in that second time, instead of putting 20 liters in, it went down to 11 liters, but I still didn't have enough fuel, so I had to make a last lap splash and dash again.
So it didn't. Well, that's weird. Yeah, that's not good. Because me and Howard were watching and we saw you. I don't know. Did you miss your braking point when you hit Jack Evans in turn 14?
Oh, so right after he passed me and then
Yeah.
I dived?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had worn out the tires so bad and just holding him off, trying to hold him up so that Burns could make an attack and Andrew could catch up to all of us, and because at that time I was just saving fuel, and I knew I'd have to come in, so, but yeah, my tires were just gone because I was trying to brake as late as possible and making calculated mistakes so that Evans would try to go for the gap,
Yeah.
but then have to back out of it all the time, so I was really holding everyone up. But yeah, I don't know. I believe it was crew chief, because every time I came into the pits, crew chief would come on like, "We'll fuel you up to the end." So I think he was overriding what the game was saying.
Oh.
And I was getting less fuel put in.
Oh, shitty.
I do also have a new heads-up display from SimHub that tells me how much fuel I need, like constantly, and how many laps I need to complete before I can do a one-stop strategy.
Yeah.
So, it could have been that, but I doubt it because crew chief was always coming on when I was getting into the pit lane. So yeah, it should have been a 3-4 finish. Like, I don't think had I got the fuel in, I don't think I would have been able to keep up to Evans, and Burns was hit or miss. We were pretty even. And then I had the pace on Andrew, so I think it would have been a third for me and a fourth for Andrew. So
yeah,
unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah, we were just Howard and I were super concerned when we saw you go. We saw you get past, and then you had the little dive bomb or whatever. So I was like, ooh, maybe he just missed his braking point. And then we saw you dive into the pits, and I was like, all right, so he's got to have damage. And then you went back in the pits again, so we figured that maybe you had to do a splash and dash or something, which ended up being the case, right? So
yeah, no, I went into the pits on that after I dived because I was pretty low on fuel, and there was no point me trying to extend my time out because I was out of fuel regardless. So as soon as he got by, I was like, well, I'm not holding him up anymore. I might as well maximize my chances with the fresh tires to catch as many positions back as I could.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
And then yeah, like passing Dennis was fairly easy, and then the other guy, he disconnected, so I gained 9th place automatically, and then realizing, oh, I didn't get enough fuel put in again, so then I had to go slow down even more. I was like 3 seconds off. I was safety car mix, and then realizing there was going to be that one extra lap because the leaders crossed the line with 30 seconds left. So
yeah, they crossed the
no
line
way.
early.
I was at half a liter in the tank when I was going into the pits for the last lap, so there was nothing I could do.
Yeah, no, that sucks. That's really unfortunate. I mean, at least you didn't take damage or anything, because that's what we thought it was at first. But at least you didn't take any damage from that, so that's good. Jackaboy, you're here. Jackhammer, Jackaboy, let us know, how did your race go?
Largely uneventful. The first, it looked like there was some sort of, and I'm reading in the Discord right now that Michael Brooks encountered someone on the formation lap, and there was some sort of kerfuffle there where people were crashing into each other. I noticed that. Was thankfully far back enough not to get involved. Was behind Das Dan at the start. which I found a bit surprising. He's usually a little bit higher qualifier than me, but maybe both inexperienced with this track. But I did get him right off the start, just because I don't think he's expecting the start finish line to be so soon right after the last corner. So I was able to jump him by getting the limiter on, and stayed ahead of him for about 2 laps. And also got by Michael Brooks. Apparently, he was around 4 seconds a lap slower than his qualifying time. So unfortunately, he had to retire. But yeah, I did make 2 passes at the start, and then just kind of bumped around nice and easy for quite a while. I really didn't have too much going on until the pit stop started happening with the guys up ahead. I was able to get in front of. Andrew came up behind me, and we communicated over our radio to get him in front of me and wedge me in between him and the BMW that was behind him. So I helped hold off that BMW for a bit, and also Jesper Burns as well in the McLaren. And then yeah, I think I also held some other people up too later into the race. So I had some fun being a nice wide car. I did like taking that inside line to the hairpin, as it kind of forced everyone to go the outside, but you can't really pass there, right? So was really able to slow people down coming through there. And then yeah, no, other than that, near the end of the race, Johan Carlson, I believe it was, he started catching me and got within about 2 to 1 seconds a lap. I was just trying to drive in, not pushing at all, just because I had 28 seconds in front of me, and after my pit stop, I had about 10 seconds behind me, so I kind of just drove around nice and easy, and the softs kind of wore down a bit. And then Carlson really had some pace at the end, but it's a really hard track to pass that. As long as I cover certain lines into certain corners, people aren't going to be able to get by me, right, unless they're a lot faster. So I was pretty confident I could hold him up, although I did encounter a back marker, I think in the last 2 laps, that it was a blue McLaren, and I think he was trying to be nice actually and let me go, but I guess we weren't communicating vocally with each other, right? We're just 2 cars kind of moving different ways to try and communicate with each other. So he did end up holding me up a little bit, completely unintentional, I'm sure. But yeah, he ended up going wide into the higher speed hairpin, and then yeah, I was gonna take the wide line, and I thought he was gonna take the inside, so I was gonna go around him, and then I had to readjust that and lost a bit more time. But thankfully, I was able to hold it to the end and take 13th place, I believe. Yeah, perfect. Not bad. Especially for a track I practiced so little for, and we didn't really have a setup for it. I was using a setup from Poznan, Poland, where I also had a pretty good race, so it worked out well for me.
Yeah, you had a good race, even though, like you said, the last bit you were like, yeah, it's not super awesome, but you were just driving around the track. Hey, it's practice,
my
though.
windshield wipers on, yeah. I don't know if you guys saw that, and I started flashing my headlight. I was just bored. I'm like, what? I hope they see something on the stream, so it's not just my boring car. Cause yeah, I had no one around me for the longest time, right? I was kind of just holding position. But it was, I really did enjoy the part of the race where I could help play a part of the strategy for Andrew and Colin. And yeah, I didn't have the pace to pull a lot of points, so I was able to do something with the strategy. That was nice. But it did serve a purpose this race, other than just being the third driver. So that was nice.
Yeah, no, you did good. That first one when Colin came out of the pit lane and you just let Colin go and then held up the drivers behind. That was awesome to see. And then the same kind of thing with Andrew when you let Andrew pass and held up the BMW right behind you. That was awesome. Perfect. I mean, that's teamwork at its finest. So I wouldn't have done anything different.
Jack, I did not even notice that you were on the inside when I came out until like we were side by side coming out of the pit lane. I was like, oh, that's one of mine. And you're like, I'm on the inside. I'm like, I'm trying to keep it. I'm trying to go. I'm trying to go.
You understeering, trying to get into the turn, the car to turn in on the cold tires. And yeah, I had Vlad Tokarev behind me. I'm trying to hold him up for you, so you don't get caught up in our the battle that we're having. And Tokarev had been really aggressive the last couple laps. He was had a lot better launch out of the last corner than I did. So the first time he ended up getting beside me, and I just pulled over to the left into turn 1, and he had to back out quite aggressively. I think he got a little bit pissed off. The next lap coming around, that's when you were coming out of the pits, and I covered the inside line to begin with coming into there, and he tried to take the outside. It was like, all of a sudden I see you diving out from the left side. I'm like, oh god, don't hit anyone. But no, that worked out really well. And then with Andrew, oh my gosh, that was hilarious. I could see him coming up behind me, and the BMW And yeah, no, we're coming up to that last chicane high speed one. I think turn 11, 12, 10 maybe. And yeah, I got Andrew to get by me. I lifted off the gas. Andrew got around, and then I hit back on the gas and was able to wedge in between him and that BMW just perfect. And I do believe I held that BMW for quite a bit. Andrew started driving away from me big time, and that BMW took about 2 or 3 laps to pass. So no, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was great to watch all the little tricks that came out with the pit strategies and stuff. Andrew, I believe you're here now, right?
Affirmative.
Alrighty. Let us know how your race went, how the start and all that stuff went.
Yeah, well, I'll let you in on a little secret. I didn't actually do any practice until this morning on this track, so I was worried about even making it in the top 10, so I think a podium, like, yeah, really happy with that result. Great result for the team, helps us win the team championship, and yeah, it was a fun race, fun track.
Yeah, no, you were even saying that you were gonna be surprised if you just got a top 10 or whatever. But yeah, a podium finish is awesome. That's much needed points for you to keep up with Jack Evans.
Exactly, yeah.
We thought, I didn't know this until Colin told me about the glitch in his pit stops, but we thought him coming into the pits and letting you go past him in the last 10 minutes or whatever. We thought it was a team decision to give you the extra points because you were closer in the top for the battle or whatever in the
Yeah.
drivers championship. So, but any incidents? I didn't see any from you, like that you were involved
Yeah,
in or whatever.
no, didn't put a mark on the car the whole race. Didn't really have any big moments, and yeah, just surprisingly smooth sailing considering, like, yeah, I hadn't turned a single lap of this track until like this morning, so
Well, we
yeah,
were
like it
saying,
went really well, I think. Yeah.
yeah, it did. We were saying because you had mentioned that you hadn't driven this track since Formula One 2002, so.
Yeah.
Me and Howard were laughing because, I mean, that would have made you like 7 years old. We were like, holy
Yeah,
Christ.
that was one of the first racing games I had as a kid. I always drove as Michael Schumacher, of course.
Yep.
And yeah, that kind of set the course for things. I think it was actually some of the same developers as our Factory 2 back then, actually, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think you're right about that too. Any final words from the three of you before we go? Colin?
No, I've already looked into what was going wrong, and it was crew chief. One of my settings had changed to adding 1 extra lap of fuel instead of default of 0, so it was doing its own calculations. So I've now changed that back to defaults, and hopefully I'll be able to get a setup made for next race, just to give ourselves just that little bit extra pace, because yeah, it was really hard for all 3 of us to practice this last week. And the setup, like, we were making changes 3 minutes left in the practice session before qualifying. Luckily, the setup that we ended up going with was very close to what, like, felt very close to what I had already, for balance wise, and I was able to work for the race, but I was definitely close to losing it a few times coming through the second chicane, just drifting out on that right left on the uphill, right? And then yeah, just gotta fix a few bugs and go from there. Really good job for Andrew to maximize the position points, and yeah, that should have been a little bit closer for both of us. Like I said, it should have been a 3-4 finish. Had it been a 3-4 finish, like me in third, where I should have been with the pit stops, then yeah, I probably just gave him the position to Andrew to give him the extra 6 points. But at least he was still able to get up to the podium, and unfortunately, it should mean a little less ballast for him next race, because it will be a third and a second finish.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll get some good practice in this weekend and a setup made for next race. And next race also, of course, I know a little bit. So
Yeah, it's
this one,
it's Bruno or whatever it's called, right?
Bruno, yeah. And this one, I've raced this track before, but only the outer circuit. So instead of at the first hairpin going in, you can cut straight across, and it cuts out that whole sector too. So completely different layout when you've got those two high-speed chicanes and the hairpin and everything else. So it'll be good next week. And thanks to all of our viewers and everyone that's tuning in each week. Hopefully, finale we can give you a 1-2 podium finish.
Yeah, I think the finale is going to be awesome. It's going to look sweet. Good race for the last race. Points fight's going to be hard and fast, so we'll see what happens. Andrew, any last words, my man?
Yeah, so one more race to go. We'll do our best to end it on a high note. As always, thanks to the team, the crew, and the fans for watching, and yeah.
All right. Very few words from Andrew, but that's like him. Always doesn't say much, but gets the point across real easy. Jack, any final words from you?
First, I'd like to thank God and everyone for watching today. Thanks to all our supporters, everyone else racing in the league with us, the people running the league, the admins, Michael Brooks, GoLab, Schwartz. You guys are doing an awesome job. Thanks for doing this league for us. Thanks to all the other drivers for putting on such a good competition. It's we're really happy to be engaged in this. I'm really hoping Team Future can get into the last race so we don't just default run away with the championship. But I am happy that we're now in first. That is nice. Even though they didn't compete today, besides Brooks having just a bad race, nothing you can do about that. But thanks to everyone, and we'll see you next week.
All right, guys, you heard it there. Last couple things from us before we go. Thank you so much to our sponsor, F40's Podcast, broadcasting live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, Mountain Daylight Time, whatever the heck we're in right now, at the Blind Beggar. Also, thank you to the Ring King Custom Chainmail, where you can get all your custom chainmail needs, be it inlays, dice bags, change purses, bracelets, necklaces, little statues. I'm working on a dragon at the moment, so that'll be up on my page pretty soon. Shout out to Ethan Burke Productions for our commercial video that we showed. I've been forgetting to shout him out the last couple of videos, so I've remembered to do that today. Go check him out on, I think he's just on Instagram, right? It's Ethan Burke. I don't know if he's got Facebook, but you can check it out at Ethan Burke Productions. There we go. Is that it? Was that all? No, that's it. Okay, I wasn't sure. I thought that was it. And then, like Jack said, special shout out to all the mods from SimRacingMania. You guys are doing a phenomenal job. Yes, it's been hectic. You guys have all been super busy. Same with everybody else. We seriously appreciate what you guys do and the extra time you put in while you're also working full-time jobs and have families and stuff like that. So it's really appreciated. We love it. We love watching the racing. Last couple rounds have been awesome. But other than that, we will see you guys next week on Tuesday the 20... What's the heck's today? Today's the 9th, right? Next week, November 16th, which is Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We'll see you guys for the finale of this championship to see if... to see if Andrew can clinch a first place spot. It's going to be very difficult, but we'll see what happens, and we'll see if the boys can hang on to their first spot in the team championship. But until then, we will see you guys next week. Have a good night, rest of your day, have a good week, all that good stuff, and we'll see you next time. Bye.